Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Susan Marra, and this is Juju, and this is Dr. Marra's Medical Minutes. And today we're going to talk about biofilms, bacterial biofilms. So, biofilms are ubiquitous in nature, they're everywhere, and they are a gelatinous mucopolysaccharide substance that is actually secreted by the microorganisms in order to protect themselves from from invaders or harmful toxins. It's like their house, and um, the biofilm generally is attached to a surface. So the surface of a endothelium or surface of a tissue, and then the biofilm gets attached, and the organisms keep producing the mucopolysaccharide substance. And a biofilm is also made up of um, proteins, lipids, and a little bit of DNA. And the biofilms are unbelievably great at protecting the organisms from the host's immune system, from invading organisms, from toxins. It's a really great way that nature has evolved to care for microorganisms. They build their own house. And biofilms are the reason that infections become persistent, because the persister cells of all organisms are the organisms that are lowest on they're closest to the surface that they're attached to. So, if you think of a biofilm as a mound, and the organisms that are at the top, they're going to be the most easily killed. And then as you move down, the persister cells, the persister organisms, they're the ones that cause chronic illness. And that's because they live in the biofilm and they do their stuff. And the organisms communicate really specifically by way of something called quorum sensing. And quorum sensing is the way the bacteria talk to each other. And it's basically chemically mediated. So they speak in chemicals. Judy. Juju, such a big girl. And one of the things that we do as practitioners to get rid of the biofilm is to use a lot of proteolytic enzymes, which will chop it up, and to use things like DMPS, DMSA, xylitol, bismuth, lipoic acid, things like that. And they will help break up the biofilm. And when you break up the biofilm, you can get to more of the organisms that are, causing the chronic infection. So biofilms are a really important mechanism for persistent infection, and they have to be dealt with. We see biofilms in people who get prosthetics, and people who get implants. Um, Infection forms around the implant because biofilms take place. And it's just a really difficult thing to manage and get rid of. And so, you need to use proteolytic enzymes, and you need to take them on an empty stomach. And things like DMPS, DMSA, bismuth, lipoic acid, you can take those on an empty stomach too before you take antibiotics. And, that should do the trick. It takes a while to degrade the biofilm. This is not something that you can do overnight. It takes many months, depending on how long you've had the infection. And the biofilm also traps things like minerals and cellular debris in the biofilm. So it's not just organisms. There's stuff in there too that you have to clear out. I'm sure Juju even has biofilm, maybe on her teeth. I think Juju has biofilm on her teeth. But definitely the mouth is a place where biofilm is just rampant. And, using a really good toothpaste and a nice mouth rinse, preferably iodide. You can get it on Amazon. It's called IO Rinse. That'll really, really help. So anyways, biofilms are super important in the work that I do, and we can treat them with various natural substances, and help get rid of the persister cells so we can get rid of the chronic infection. I hope this information has been helpful to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Say bye-bye, Juju. Bye-bye, love. Oh.